Hello. Welcome everybody. We are here with, a little bit later live stream than I normally do. The reason being was this morning I was unavailable. So today is the 48th. I just clicked around to check. Today is the 48th weekly live stream here at guitarcollection.com. If you are here tuning in way later, please say hello. I would love to know if this is actually, for some people, a better time. I don't know. Maybe you guys let me know. I've been saying in quite a few videos lately that every week at 11 a.m. Central Time. So I guess I'm going to have to go back on that if that's the case. But yeah, today I was unavailable in the morning, so I figured instead of just skipping this one, why not log on and do this later? Say hello to those of you that maybe can't make it normally early in the morning, but maybe can make it now. I don't know. But yeah, please feel free to say hello if you're tuning in, where you're tuning in from. And I have such a treat for you here today. And I figured for those of you that waited or were hoping to tune in earlier but are tuning in now, we'd start with a little surprise of an extremely rare guitar. One that there's probably less than a dozen of these that exist in the world right now, which is awesome. But I'll get more into that in a second. I'm going to say hi to those here that join. But I do want to remind you that if you are watching this after the fact, and I know there's a lot of you because I get comments afterwards, please check out the timestamps in the at the bottom of the video. It's also in the description of the video, and you can click to that exact point where I begin presenting a specific guitar. That'll at least help you jump through some of the some of the jokes and the comment reading and all. If you are interested in one of the specific guitars and seeing how it sounds or comparing a couple of sounds. But otherwise, if you're here to just listen and hang out, that's great too. And I'm curious, if you're watching this after the fact, leave a comment telling me like when you listen, because I know some of you might listen during a drive or maybe with a coffee or at night. I don't know. I'd love to hear and if it is interesting for you to listen to these entire streams. But let me go ahead and say hi to some people that are here. We've got Dennis tuning in from Canada. Yes, Dennis says, I'm good with whatever time you live stream. I'm retired. I love it. All right, well, I'll do 3 in the morning next time. I'm kidding. Vincenzo's here from Italy. What's up, Vincenzo? Good to see you. DSW. Hi, Evan. West Coast here. Lunchtime works well for me. That's great. I'm really glad to hear it. Welcome. Lunchtime. Yeah. Oh, you reminded me. I need to eat lunch. I had a very late breakfast, but no lunch yet today. So after this, that might be the plan. Actually, sometimes right after these live streams, if I'm not exhausted from speaking, sometimes I record some videos after these live streams. If I have the energy, if I'm feeling it, and I might do that here today. So we will see. So if you're just tuning in, please feel free to say hello. What is in my lap right now? I'll just kind of tease it, and then we'll start a full review a little bit later. This is a guitar built by Enrique Garcia, or possibly him and Francisco Simplicio, at the beginning of the 1900s, probably somewhere in the teens, like 1918 to 1922, probably before Garcia's death, from what we know about some of the other ones. But if I were to tell you that this is an Antonio de Torres, you probably would believe it, because that is what this is, a copy of an Antonio de Torres by, of course, the legendary Enrique Garcia and Francisco Simplicio. And I'm happy to tell you, you will not find this guitar anywhere online. You will find several others that are very similar, videos and descriptions and photos. But this is the first one time this guitar has ever appeared on the internet. It was owned by someone for many years, and I'm getting to represent it. Now, yes, the first thing you do, you might look in the label and you say, oh my goodness, I am holding an Antonio de Torres. But we know from a few little details that it wasn't a Torres, but in fact made by Simplicio and Garcia, which they like to test their craftsmanship and making copies of some of the most famous guitars. And there are some that are like this that exist, and some sources say less than 12. I don't see any firm details about that. Of course, who knows how many were lost out there, destroyed. But this guitar is possibly the most ornate one of the copies that Simplicio and Garcia made. And I would say, I mean, I've not seen another one that's like this, not this much detail, but just take a look, okay? I hope this is a fun thing for you guys to see also. And I have to be very careful because, as you can imagine, this is a very valuable guitar. Take a look at that rosette, and inside you'll see the Antonio de Torres label. In the top here, which of course it's not going to be pristine, otherwise you would, it could just be some recent repolish or complete restoration of it. That's not happened. In fact, if you look closely, there are no cracks in this top, which is ridiculous. This is way over 100 years old, and there are no cracks in the top of this guitar. Lots of wear, of course, you can see. Take a look, right? Lots of marks here and there, of course. It's been played a whole lot. But just look at the detail in this rosette. Now, I'm going to show you in just a moment something that is just so obviously Simplicio or Garcia. And that are the back and sides of this guitar, which is Cuban mahogany, okay? A wood that really only they had at that time. It's not something like 50 years ago someone could have made a copy with Cuban mahogany. This is something that's now extinct, and you'll find on many Garcia and Simplicio guitars. Look at this Cuban mahogany. It's the most beautiful reddish color in person. It might be looking a little brown right now, but look at the sides. Look at all this marquetry on the sides of this guitar. It might be one of the most beautiful, if not the most beautiful guitars I've ever held. I'm hating the glare of the computer right now. But take a look at that. I'll show you the other side. And by the way, there is one repaired crack in the back of the guitar here. What do you guys think? Let me know. How beautiful is this thing? Let me try to not get the reflection of the screen. Isn't that insane? Who knows how much on the live stream you're able to see, but it is in fact Cuban mahogany. This is, you know, it's so rare to be holding. I mean, I was told that the tuners were replaced, but are very, very old. Like these could be Bakers or something similar. But if you actually look at some original Antonio de Torres guitars, some of them do have these like metal rollers going on here. So I think that's more of just a hypothesis that they're not original, but they are certainly of the time. And of course the head of this guitar, which I'm being very careful with, has that same marquetry going down the center of the head and along the sides, just like the purfling and everything else has on this guitar. In fact, I want to stand up a moment so I can get this really close. Look at this. And by the way, I have a full album of professional photos. How beautiful is this heel? Isn't that nice? So cool. What a neat guitar. So it's all about how it sounds too, right? But I want to just say a couple things. This guitar does have a tornavos that goes very deep into the guitar. I mean, it almost touches the bottom, just like some of the other Torres guitars that you can find. Or of course, Simplicio Garcia. Many of these have tornavoses as well, including a beautiful 1927 Brazilian rosewood Simplicio that I had recently. DSW says, amazing, much better condition than my original, much cheaper 1923 to 26 spruce cypress. Oh, your original what? Original Garcia, or sorry, that would be Simplicio. I sweat a little every time I up tune from drop D with the original tuners. Oh, I know. My gosh, with old tuners, they can be so stressful. It's funny, these are actually very smooth. Yeah, Gelling House, a lot of those are yeah, exactly. Those are Torres replicas, but okay. We're going to get into the sound here. Otherwise, I will spend all day talking about this guitar. Listen to the depth. And this is at A equals 440. In fact, let me adjust the preamp just a little bit here so you guys can hear in a little bit better detail. You feel this huge depth to the guitar, and this second string is indescribable. And the sustain is just beautiful. It's just, of course, you got to play some Targa on this Torres by Simplicio and Garcia, likely. Isn't that something? Such a lovely guitar. Let's see, Vincenzo asks, is that shorter scale in 650? Let me confirm. I believe it's 650. But I have just recently got this in and had it photographed. It's 650. It is exactly 650 scale. And, oh yeah, no, not that small. It is 650, which of course Torres was known for, and then of course Simplicio Garcia also did that when they copied these guitars. Of course, the body size is like not what you imagine a super modern guitar's plantilla. A lot of them have gotten bigger, but this is still a full-size guitar. I mean, I have plenty of guitars around here that are this size. It's really fat in this area, so when you rest your arm, you feel it's a normal size. The funny thing is when you compare it to something like this Miguel Rodriguez, which is what I'm going to show you guys last today, then you see a huge difference, because Miguel Rodriguez not only 667 scale, but it's also a much bigger plantilla. So yeah, this is 650. Anything that you guys would like to hear on this guitar, please let me know. And let me show you how smooth these tuners are. Not even any creaking. That's crazy. Oh, I pushed that a little too hard. There you go, there's some creaking. For a second there, I have to admit, I forgot I was streaming. I was just having fun playing. This is a real treat. I mean, there's something different behind the guitar too. When you're playing this guitar, well, for one, you feel every note vibrating on the fingerboard. There's something so something that's very quick about the guitar. Like, the balance is all there. When you pluck a note, it feels very alive. Boom, that Tornavals is so beautiful. DSW here says, wow, the clarity and overtones are magical. I'm telling you, it's so nice. I'm going to tune back up here without fear, hopefully. Well, you know, with so many live streams, man, this chair is squeaking. With so many live streams, I feel like it's only a matter of time before someday I do something stupid on the stream, or a string snaps, or a tuner breaks or something. But so far not. I've been practicing this one transcription of Scarlatti K11. And I was, right before I started the stream, I was playing this. And I was thinking how nice and clear these trills are. Listen to the first string. So nice. Oh gosh, I'm gonna mess this up, of course. Anyways, I won't ruin it anymore. I need the music in front of me for that one still. Oh, I know a target tune that I want to play. This one's a drop D though. Oh my goodness. Well, I could play on this thing all day. Dennis asks, is the Tornavos brass? The answer is yes. Well, gosh, as far as I can tell, it's very old. Yes, it's brass. It's brass or some sort of other similar material. You can tell from the sound of it. So, anyhow, those of you that are just joining, tuning in late, this has been a guitar that's not been mentioned anywhere. This is a Cuban mahogany Antonio de Torres guitar, built by very likely Enrique Garcia or Francisco Simplicio, or them both together. There are not many of these guitars that exist in the world. If you look up Torres and Enrique Garcia or Simplicio, you'll find more information about these guitars, but not this one in particular. Look at this. There's a nice close-up of the rosette. And sorry, I'm not going to be able to get the label and all that on camera. If I shove this up to the camera, then I am very likely to break this guitar under my fingertips, which would be a catastrophe to capture on camera here. But I do have a whole album of really nice photos of this guitar. Let's move to the next. We're going to fast forward some years in the future into, we're going from old to new here, but we're still pretty old here, nearly 100 years. This is a guitar by Santos Hernandez, very, very famous Spanish maker. Of course, responsible for building the famous guitar of Andres Segovia's at the Ramirez workshop. And this is a guitar from 1934, first of all, and the label says that and everything. You can see as I hold this up. Well, I'm not going to be able to get close enough for you to view the whole label, but it is 1934, and this guitar is what you could call the flamenco model. Now, it's not that it's that it's no good for normal classical guitar. In fact, this is a really appealing guitar, and I'll get into the sound in a second. But you'll notice it does have cypress back and sides, which is how to repair. That's what this is right here. But other than that, it's a fantastic, fantastic guitar. You've got crack repairs on the top. They are several, but they are professionally repaired. There's a little tap plate, which you would expect on a flamenco guitar. Of course, the label, you have Santos Hernandez luthier. You see 1934, Madrid. And spruce and cypress. With, of course, these peg head tuners, friction tuners, which appear to be the originals, actually. They are wooden, and in the the little pearloid tips here, there's like a couple of them missing. but it still tunes well. I might need a second to get it in tune. Let's see if it stayed in tune. I'm not sure. Okay, pretty darn good. But I have to tell you, this is a very underrated and underpriced guitar in the market of Santos Hernandez guitars. There are many Santos Hernandez guitars that go 50,000 plus because they're rosewood versions, or because they have great provenance, or that maybe there's like no cracks in it. These are all things that contribute to the higher value. But this is the flamenco model, which it seems to some that this is a value degradation, when in reality you're getting a great Santos Hernandez guitar, yes, with cracks and repairs, but it's a really special guitar for both styles. I mean, you can play everything on this guitar. I need to tune this third string. That should be good. Maybe it's a little too short now. Yeah. It's the only thing with friction pegs. And I'm telling you, if I use these every day, I would be totally comfortable with them. It's like figuring out the right amount of touch, you know? Still a little short. Oh, that's pretty good. Listen to that. There's this depth to the bass, like... F. It's an F. Yeah, the main air resonance is an F. Just so cool. I'm going to end up peaking the mics, but... Very nice balanced sound with lots of depth. Sorry, I don't know this tune very well. But it's got all these great Spanish characteristics, and again, great for all styles. I'm telling you, if you had this guitar, you'd be enjoying it for so much repertoire. You can extract so many colors out of this guitar, and I think you can tell, like, what a great Spanish sound, man. What else would be really fun to play on this? You guys have ideas? Maybe I'll go drop D. I'll take a risk here. Oh my gosh, I got it perfect, huh? Probably not. Let's try again. You see, you kind of get used to this stuff in just a few minutes of playing this guitar before the stream. Well, of course, I've played this guitar before and recorded a video on it as well. But, you know, it ends up being around the same time as normal tuners once you're used to it. Oh, that's what I was going to do. Too far. Oh, it's... What do you guys think? I'm kind of blown away by this guitar. It makes you realize why someone like Pepe Romero ordered so many guitars in Cyprus for the back and sides. And yes, DSW just commented La Maza, I think you mean Saints de la Maza, and my goodness, yes, he played Santos Hernandez guitars. In fact, there's a little, if you look up like Regino Saints de la Maza documentary, there's like, it's entirely in Spanish, but there's this great documentary of where he starts out like in his garden, washing his hands, or maybe he's taking a sip of water, and then he leads you up the stairs and starts playing a little concert playing. I think, oh. He's playing his rondeña, yeah. And then later on, he shows you his cabinet of, I believe it's, maybe it's like the whole cabinet is all Santos Hernandez guitars. I'm approaching my limit memory of this piece. Okay, that's enough. You get the idea. You got the request. Yeah. What a killer sound. This is a 1934 Santos Hernandez. It, of course, has seen some things. There are some cracked repairs here. But what an incredible guitar, man. You won't find a Santos Hernandez for this price besides this one. So, but I think you'd be hard pressed to find a better sounding of the flamenco models, the cypress back and sides of one of these Santos Hernandez guitars. I mean, I played a few of these, and I have to say some of them are extremely hard to play. The neck is warped, the action's crazy high. Of course, the action's supposed to be very, very low on these when it's a flamenco guitar. And this action has been set up to kind of been a hybrid between flamenco and classical. So it's like 3 millimeters here at the 6th string, and it feels like maybe like 2.25 or something on the 1st string, which is super low, and you'll buzz it. You hear me when I you'll hear me buzzing sometimes if I really push, but that's what's going to happen when you're playing really hard apoyandos or doing some loud, aggressive rasgueados. It's all part of the style. So, okay, I'll move on to the 3rd guitar because, again, another guitar that I could just sit here and play Targa all day, and now DSW's suggestion here of Saints de la Maza. Although I don't know much other Saints de la Maza music. Trying to think what other pieces I've played by him. Some other couple little things, but not much. Nothing else that I could pull out from memory. So, okay, I see there are 19 people currently here. There's only a few people commenting. If you feel so inclined to say hello, please say hello. Would love to hear from you. You guys, don't forget to check out the Instagram page. You can search Guitar Collection on Instagram. On Instagram, I think it's The Guitar Collection. And on YouTube Shorts here and Instagram, just like a little update from me while I pull out this Miguel Rodriguez and get it tuned up. This one's from 1987. Kind of wild. I posted this video of me looking at a Stauffer guitar that I have here. Of course, Stauffers are the guitars that were played on by Legnani and Mertz and so many others. I posted this video on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook of me looking at that guitar and a friend of mine asking some questions about it. That video's at like 150,000 views right now. It's getting so many people interested in these guitars, and a lot of nice jokes, a lot of rude comments every now and then, you know. But let's see. This thing's at 160. Just from this morning, it went from 150 to 162,000 people viewing it, which is insane. So I'm sort of dealing with the influx of people there. Maybe some of you on this stream got introduced to this channel from that, because I put it on YouTube Shorts where it did well too. But anyhow, those are some strange things going on in my life. And I'm going to get to the last guitar here that I'm going to show this week, which is a Miguel Rodriguez guitar from the year 1987. This one has a spruce top in really pristine condition, honestly, and with a Brazilian rosewood back and sides here. Really old Brazilian, super straight grained, and very notably a 667 scale. So 667 millimeters. Guys, if you would have told me this a few years ago, I would have said, there's no way I would even enjoy playing a second on one of those guitars. Nowadays, I own a Miguel Rodriguez guitar of my own. Honestly, this is a guitar that and also the Santos Hernandez. This is a guitar that's been on the website for maybe a month or so now, and I can't believe it hasn't sold. Now, it is an expensive guitar, but I think this one is demonstrably as good or maybe even better than the cedar one that I own. And I honestly wish I could own them both. This one being a spruce and the other one being a cedar. And the other one is Madagascar rosewood. But this one is a little bit more clear, which I think can be a really nice thing for, you know, the other one being a really dark chocolatey cedar sound. This one's a little bit more clear, but with that same depth the other one has. And this one, the condition of it is just fantastic. I mean, the top has no dents, no scratches. Well, you know, little tiny things here and there. I mean, you can see little rasgueado marks every now and then on the top, but it's in crazy great condition. I've seen guitars that are like a couple months old that people played a lot and are now in worse condition, but incredibly beautiful to look at. Original Fustero tuners there. This really nice carving of the head. I mean, really, really detailed work. And on the back, this classic Rodriguez stamp that says M. Rodriguez and of course Córdoba, where this guitar was made, where this family of guitar makers made their instruments. And a couple of things to note. This guitar is 667 scale, has really tall and wide frets, which I love. I think it's like a necessity for longer scaling guitars. And it also has the classic Yuri Seltins inspired, whatever you want to call it. It's a brace in this guitar that supports the top. And it goes right about here in the guitar. Actually, let me check. It's actually been a while since I've looked. I know it's there on this guitar. By the way, get yourself one of these mirrors on Amazon. It's like $10. Yeah, it's like right here on the guitar. And it's this like floating brace that goes to the sides. It floats all across the guitar, and then it touches the side here, the top right here in the center, and then the side over here again. And this is a hallmark feature, a lot of this era Miguel Rodriguez guitars. And it supports the top. These tops are made very, very thin. They're so crazy loud and responsive. But I'm telling you, maybe you guys can tell from the other side here. These are the loudest traditional guitars that I've ever played. Maybe, with the exception, actually. Maybe it's not an exception. I'm not sure. But early Matthias Dahlmann guitars that are not double tops, these are also extremely loud guitars. I know that's a random wild card to throw in there, but it's crazy loud and just so powerful. And that is not even the highlight. It's the dynamic range of this guitar. Some guitars force you to play loud. Listen to that sustain. It's ridiculous. The term for this one is muscular. It is extremely muscular. Everywhere you feel like you are carrying power with you. And I don't know about you, but you open up your guitar case and every now and then you want to push into the guitar, express something, not feel like it's fighting you or you have to really deal with limitations. It is the power with you. It's just phenomenal. It's just phenomenal. And the action is low. I mean, here's the thing. Any little detail is off about this guitar, nightmare to play because it's 667 millimeters. Like I said, huge scale length. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited about this, but the action, 3.5, perfect 3.5 at the 6th string. First string, 2.75. This is my exact preferred specifications. Super, super low. The neck is round. Actually, it's rounder and less D-shaped than the one I own. This one is more C-shaped. Not very thin, but it's thin compared to a lot of these Spanish guitars like Ramirez or something. Crazy thick necks. And also a lot of times longer scale length. It makes it unplayable for me in a lot of times. This one has tall frets, Very, very wide. These are straight up bass guitar frets. And it's so easy to play. And guys, if you have any questions, I'll go ahead and say, leave them right now. Would love to hear from you. I'm going to be signing off in a second. I can smell lunch in the other room. So, guys, you know that feeling. I love my time with you here. But I smell lunch. Holy moly, right? And I apologize, I'm probably peeking the microphone here, but this has been a 1987 Miguel Rodriguez guitar. Check out that rosette. I never got close. It's just so beautiful. The rosewood back and sides, just beautiful condition. Really a great guitar. No cracks, no repairs. So if you've been looking for one, this one might be it. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you're watching this after the fact and you'd like to say hello, please leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. If you've been watching with me here today, thank you so much for tuning in later than normal. I believe next week we'll be back to 11 a.m. Central US time. Gosh, what crazy guitars here today. If you're tuning in later, what I did go over was this Santos Hernandez from 1934. And this super special Enrique Garcia or Francisco Simplicio built Torres copy. That is just one of a kind. There's only a few of these that exist in the world, and I've not seen another one quite as ornate. Ridiculously stunning. It's not even gone out to the newsletter. This is the first view of it, so I hope you guys are enjoying. And one last little thing. If you haven't signed up for the newsletter at guitarcollection.com, you can go to my website. I think it's at the top left corner and under contact, I think. You can enter in your email address, and every Friday you'll get an email showing off whatever the newest arrivals are. So just this week, not even out on... Did I? I don't think that it's out on the newsletter. I got in a great 2025 Mark Usherovich double top and a Said Abotelebian, one of the top rising luthiers. These guitars are still affordable, both Said and Usherovich. They're not amongst like the hardest to get in the world yet. But incredible guitars, and I'm going to be making videos on them shortly here, probably today. So in case you're interested, totally different ballpark than the traditionals. But thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.